The Kansas City Chiefs in the 2019 NFL Draft were in a very difficult position because not only did they need to think about where they're at as a team, they are in a position where they need to win now. So they need to add players that can contribute right away, that can add to their depth chart and possibly start and play and impact their team right away. But they also had to think about the Tyreek Hill situation, the unfortunate situation that is around Tyreek Hill. And they needed to basically say, okay, do we add a receiver here? Do we add corners? Do we add safeties that we desperately need? How do we go about helping the offensive line? And they had a lot to basically shuffle, and they had a lot on their hands. So this was an interesting draft for the Chiefs. Overall, I don't think it really worked out the way that I would have hoped if I was a Chiefs fan. I don't think they really came away with an impactful class, at least for this season. They possibly came away with a class that can help later down the road, but I don't really see how this team is going to be impacted by this class right away. Now, possibly in the second round, they get two players that can help right away. But they basically said, Mecole Hardman from Georgia, you are going to be the new Tyreek Hill. And he is going to be the replacement for Tyreek Hill if Tyreek Hill leaves. Now, automatically, that is a downgrade at that position. But at least you get a player that's similar in skill set. He is a burner. He is in the Tyreek Hill mold. He ran a 4.33. But are you really trying to replicate what you have in Tyreek Hill? I don't know. He's good on offense as a receiver, but he's also a kick returner. So again, Tyreek Hill things here. But I don't know. Mecole Hardman, I think, could be a really good pick for the Chiefs and could end up being the great combination with Patrick Mahomes. It could happen, or it could just end up being a swing and a miss of a player that you tried to replicate, but you weren't able to. So it's kind of finding that balance between a great pick and a not so great pick. For me, Mecole Hardman is a good pick, not a great pick because, this situation that you've basically put yourself in with Tyreek Hill, unfortunately, you could have used a corner here or something of that nature, but instead you have to pick a receiver. A receiver that, depending on what happens with Tyreek Hill, is rather going to have to play a big role in his rookie season on a win-now mode team, or he's going to have to not play very much at all. Like, you have Sammy Watkins, maybe he becomes your third receiver. It's a tough situation. It's a tough situation that the Chiefs were put in. I can't really say much more, but from a prospect point of view, you drafted a player that's a lot like Tyreek Hill, and hopefully he's more Tyreek Hill than he is Ted Ginn or one of these type of guys, so we'll see. Then in the second round, I do like the pick of Thornhill from Virginia. I think he's a solid player. I think he was one of the better safeties in this draft, and he definitely helps them from a need perspective on defense. And I think he has a chance to start beside Tyrann Mathieu. So I think that's their best pick by far in this draft. Good player, good range as a safety. I think he has a solid shot again of winning a job, and I think that was their best pick by a wide margin. Kalen Saunders, I don't really understand this pick much. I don't think he's a bad player, don't get me wrong, but I think the Chiefs are pretty well set on the defensive line in terms of their interior defensive line. I don't think Kalen Saunders is going to be a guy that's going to immediately contribute. I would have preferred going with a corner here. Definitely, I would have preferred possibly adding to the offensive line or adding a linebacker at this spot, but instead they go with a defensive tackle that I don't really feel serves a need. And then after the third round, they don't get to pick until the sixth round again, which they have 3 picks in the sixth round. They pick a running back, Darwin Thompson. I don't think that's a bad pick because they do have Damian Williams and Carlos Hyde, but they could use another guy as a backup. But I don't think that's a huge need for them. I think they just missed on some of these needs. They didn't pick one linebacker in this draft, which I think is a miss. They only picked one corner in Rashad Fenton, who is a 6th-round pick, and hopefully he can become something, but you're not counting on it. And they didn't pick a center until the 6th round either. So 3 of their biggest needs in this draft they did not address. They addressed the safety position, but they did not address anything else. They addressed this Tyreek Hill position / Tyreek Hill need replacement position, but they did not really address anything outside of safety and that. So I can't really say this is a great draft. Overall, I'm going to say that the Chiefs get a C for this because I needed to see them address their corner position, which is going to be absolutely terrible coming into this season. They needed to address their safety position, which they did, and I would have liked to seen them add an athletic linebacker, someone that can cover a little bit better than the guys that they have right now, and they didn't do that either. So overall, I have to give the Chiefs a C. I don't think this is the greatest draft. I don't think a lot of these players are going to contribute right away on a team that needs to really have players contribute right away, and that's my grade. Do you disagree? Comment below. Do you agree? Comment below. Gronk, spike the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's Mitch of TheBottomLineView. Thanks for watching, and peace.